Morning, guys. Hey, I hope everyone is as well as can be in these crazy times that we're going through. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm kind of, me being me, I just try and see the positive in everything. So I think I'm quite excited with it all. Not because it's going on. So there's no point me being upset. Obviously I would much rather it not be going on, but instead of being upset, it's just like, oh my God, I'm looking at, wow, we're actually going to be a part of history. Like, our grandkids could be learning about us in school. So that's quite exciting. Although obviously times are hard and times are bad, we know that, but as well we are so blessed. We have so many things to be thankful for. Firstly, one of the things we need to be thankful for are the fact that we have houses to sit in with electric and gas to self-isolate in. We are more than blessed. There are people out there that are literally living on the streets, and just because we've gone into a self-isolation, that doesn't give them somewhere to go. That just gives them the same shop doorway that they've always been sleeping in. And they're going to be the people as well that are obviously most vulnerable to catching it, because people spit and urinate right where they lay their heads. And so, we're lucky. The weather, we've got beautiful weather while we are stuck indoors. Okay, it's a bit of a bummer that we actually can't go out and really enjoy that weather the way we normally would, but at least we're indoors, and whilst we're indoors on self-isolation, we do have this beautiful sunshine coming through our windows to brighten up our days. So again, something to be blessed for. There's people on the other side of the world, that literally their house is a little metal shack with buckets all around it to stop the leaks coming through, and literally their light is, when the sun's up, and when the sun goes, that's it. They don't have no daylight. They're living off moonlight if they have any. So again, we're so blessed. We've got shops that we can go and buy food from, which other people can't. Okay, yes, I know we're limited. We was limited before when everyone went into panic mode, but it wasn't really limited. We wasn't actually limited. Sorry, that's completely the wrong word to use. We was not limited. We was limited to the shops we could go to, because a lot of people was rushing to the main supermarket. So on speaking to one of the butchers, he said that he found that his regular customers hadn't been. And then we had said it's probably because what people are doing, because I know I go to the butchers and I go to the veg stalls, but sometimes, if I've got a busy, week or whatever, I'll just go to the supermarket because I can get the majority of what I need from the supermarket. So that's what, the butcher said he felt that a lot of people had been doing. So the butchers were stocked, the meat, the veg stalls were stocked, the market stalls, oh my God, it was like a rainbow. It was just normal, completely normal. I'm seeing this all over the place. Bakeries have been stocked with fresh loaves of breads because people have just gone into that panic mode, run to the supermarket, shelves are empty, a couple of pictures gone up, so everyone panics more, and then, then it's a chain reaction, and the staff can't cope. There's plenty of food in the storerooms, and this is what I've been talking to staff members. It's not just what I'm going and saying off my own back. I've lived over here 10 years. I know some of the staff by first name basis and vice versa. So in Morrison's and Aldi's, they both said the same thing. We've got the stock. The only stock they didn't have was the pasta, the toilet roll and the flour. They was the things they was really running out of and literally didn't have. But again, with toilet roll, I'm sorry, if the worst comes to the worst, we've all got an old flannel, we've all got an old bit of t-shirt you could use, we've all got baths that you could, use. Okay, not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. You wouldn't have to walk around dirty. There are ways around it. So what they were saying is obviously they couldn't get the food. There was the stock rooms were fully stocked as normal, but because people are rushing in, they're panicking, they're serving people on the till, the queues are long, so they can't get the staff to get out and stock the food. So there was never no limit. There never has been, no worry of food running out. I live along the River Thames, so I see, the crates, I can see them daily as we're walking, coming in thick and fast, just as normal, loading up to the Tesco, up the Tesco warehouse and the other food warehouses that are around there, the Tesco lorries, and I keep saying Tesco's because Tesco's is the main one that we walk past, but you can see, there's another Asda one, there's another multiple one that deals with multiple stores, and I can see them, they're loading, they're coming. No one's ever said there's going to be a shortage of food. That was just a panic. I don't know where that came from, but that never was that food an issue, and at the moment, never, it is not an issue and won't be an issue, because they're the things that if we do go into a lockdown, that they really will not stop because we still need to survive. So basically, what it is, a lot of people have been saying how Boris's speech confused them. Let me explain. You wouldn't know a lockdown right now. You clearly don't know what a lockdown is, a lot of you, okay? Because let me explain what a lockdown is. No. Right, what? No, let me not, okay? So at the moment, let me start from the beginning. At the moment, Boris has given us a chance, okay? He's given us a chance to self-isolate, okay? Because we all know you should all know we're not silly, and if you don't know, go and use this time that you are self-isolating to go and do a bit, educate yourself. But what self-isolation is he wants everybody to take responsibility for themselves, which we all should have done a long, long time ago. We shouldn't have to wait for the government to tell us what we need to do. We're all, we're all people, all human. We know what's going on. We're quite aware of what's going on. So we, can think logically, think rationally, and, think what can we do to help it. So Boris has asked us to self-isolate, okay? It's clear as day, his speech. It is very clear. It couldn't be any more clearer if he tried, I don't think. And a lot of people that I know also feel the same. So what he's doing is he's giving us a chance to self-isolate. Self-isolate, what that means is anyone that's going to work, okay, that means they're going to work because they are not being given the time off. Their managers, their companies are not allowing them to have the time off. So when you're seeing the tubes and the trains are packed, understand that they've reduced the service. So the trains was packed and busy before, now they've reduced the service, okay, and a lot of them people are still going to have to go to work. So many of them are going to work. Then you've got so many nurses now as well, extra medical staff, extra key workers that are now on there. So although some people, yes, are staying home from work, there are also a large volume of people that wouldn't necessarily be going out at the times they're going out and working, because people are working extra hours, more staff are being called in on duty at one time. So regardless of the situation, I won't know them all, but these people obviously are still going to work because they have to go to work, because until their work, I've known someone who's lost their job because literally they just said, look, I'm protecting myself, I'm protecting my family, their partner's just had a newborn baby. So what he was saying is, he's not worried about himself, it's his family he's worried about, and it was a big decision for him because he's like, he's not going to get paid. Well, in the end, they just sacked him, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous because he's just trying to protect his family, and that's what everybody should be trying to do, and protect everybody else out there as well. Do it as a community. We need to come together and be a whole. So with people like myself as well, because a couple of people have said to me, yeah, but you're walking your dog. Yeah, I'm walking my dog because Boris has said that I'm allowed to walk my dog. Boris has said that you, even if you don't have a dog, you are allowed to go out daily for exercise. Well, he doesn't want people to do it daily. He wants them to do it as less as possible. But obviously I have a dog, so I'm going to go out daily. There are people that would have mental health issues, that want to, get out because for their sanity. And, being indoors, they will get cabin fever almost and just have no one to talk to. There'll be people that are completely alone, like myself. I live at home with just me and my dog, but obviously I'm lucky. I have lots of neighbours that I can go and sit with. I have a couple of friends that live around here that I can go and sit with. So what I've chosen out of them friends, I've chosen to keep my circle tight. So what we've done is a friend that I always walk with. It's me, her little boy, and another friend and her two sons. What we've decided, we've kind of gone into self-isolation together. However, we're not going back to the same homes. But the reason why that's okay, it's still self-isolation, because it's like, instead of us going to one house to self-isolate, we all go back to our own houses, we meet up, we go for a walk, we don't talk to no one but us. That's it. If we see other people in the fields, we spread, we keep our distance, and try, try and keep as much distance from other people that are walking along the rivers or the fields as we are. There's not that many people out there. I must admit, last week, over the weekend, the volume really went up. It went crazy. It went absolutely ridiculous. And it's quite sad, because it's just like, you people never come down here with your dogs and your kids. And, this is something that you should really be doing anyway. And then as well, it's like, move, because you're actually ruining it for us, because we're down here all the time, all weathers. So don't even try come, ruin our parade, because obviously if it gets to the point where it's so busy, we won't be allowed to walk down. We will be allowed, but at the moment we won't be able to walk down the river, obviously, because we, trying to stick to the rules. Luckily, we've got fields, so we can make our way to the fields. But our worry is, once people see us going to the fields, that they might follow. But if that's the case, then we'll have to deal with it when it comes. So what Boris is saying to you guys, obviously you guys that have got kids, so we've got play parks around ours. The kids normally go in the play park for a bit. We'll just chill with the dogs. No, the answer's no, kids. You're not going in the park at the moment. We're not supposed to be congregating with other people, okay? So, yes, you and your family, if you need to, you can go for a walk, okay? You can go unfortunately, if you don't have fields, if you don't have a nice area that you can go and walk around, then you're just going to have to walk around the streets. And, I'm sorry, that's just how it is. You're not hard done by. There's many people that are going to be out there in your situation, and a lot worse situation. There's going to be people that can't get out because literally they rely on someone to come and get them out. But what's going to happen is they're going to say, right, at the moment, you're not a priority because we've got people that need to be seen, maybe more consistently. or more, because there'll be family members that would take up some of their care, that would now have to be in self-isolation to protect their loved ones, to prevent pass-on infection, and whatnot. So, you know, it's losing myself again. Yeah, sorry. So if that is you, if you can only just walk around your street, then I'm sorry, so be it. That's all you can do. Like, and it just suck it up, buttercup. Because, again, it could, like I said, it could be so much worse. Like, there's people that have gone to the beach. It's them sort of people. They're the sort of people that are going to get us onto a full lockdown. Because going to the beach, what you need to understand with that is you are travelling from one area to a completely different area. You are socialising, even if you're not generally socialising, you're not talking to the people next to you. You are close enough, okay, to then cross-contaminate, to spread on any virus, any infection if you then have it. You are then travelling again all these miles to then go back to your home. So now if any of you sitting on that beach have got that virus, you could have potentially had that virus, for example, let's say in Southend, okay, and then now that virus has now travelled from Southend down to London because you two were sat next to each other on a beach. Okay, that is what Boris wants us to stop doing, okay? Take some responsibility, guys, honestly, okay? Because, for example, if me and the girls and the kids, if one of us have the infection, okay, yes, we can cross-contaminate each other, yes. But this is what it's about, okay? Self-isolating is getting your little group of people, okay? Well, it's not. What they want you to do is want you to be in your home with your family, but obviously they haven't got partners, it's just them and their kids, you know. I haven't got a partner, I haven't got any kids, so going a bit stir-crazy by myself, so it's nice to go and have a bit of adult combo. So the reason why that's still us self-isolating is because it's like us being a family. We're not going around anybody else, we're keeping it us. Even a friend said she might go visit some of her girls because they've all chose to go into a house and self-isolate together, and we told her, sorry babe, if you go and visit them, you're not coming back to our clique. Sorry, standard. And she's like, really? Yes, really, because that's the reality of it. If one of them have that virus in that house, you could then bring that virus onto us. Then after we've done the 3 weeks of isolation, it's not going to work, because then my symptoms now are going to be a week down the line. So after we've come out of self-isolation 3 weeks later, Amy is now there in a second stage of it, now spreading that virus. So we're going to just go round in circles. But if everybody self-isolates with your selected few people, your little family, whoever, after 3 weeks, it goes up, it goes down, it eradicates, okay? Hopefully, that's what we hope, okay? Obviously, if people can... and what will happen as well, after this self-isolation, guys, what will happen is, obviously, after the 3 weeks, they'll review it. It could be that the virus completely, we've seen no spread of it, the cases have gone down, and then they might say, okay, well, what we're going to do, because you've done really well on self-isolating, we've noticed we're not getting big gatherings, people are, and obviously the fields, you know, not our fields, but some people's parks and fields, they're going to get quite packed, because obviously everybody's going to have the same idea, let's go up and take a walk around the field, but not go into the play park that's in the field, okay? So a lot of people are going to want to do that, but there's been helicopters about. I'm sure we've all seen them in every area, because I've had people in different countries that I've been talking to on my streaming app. I've had people, for example, a couple of the boys was in Peckham yesterday and they could all see the helicopters. So it's quite clear that they're out there, they're watching. Big deterrent to show you they're not messing around, okay? And they're monitoring, I believe. That's what it is. Obviously, that's, you know, how they're going to do it best, to see what's going on, to see if we are sticking to... They're not even rules at the moment. He's not even giving us rules. He's giving us a choice. He's giving us options. He's saying, basically, you can self-isolate, you can do this, or we can go into a lockdown, up to you. So if we can just, you know, take responsibility for ourselves and help everybody, even all those that are out there still saying, oh, F Boris, whatever, don't worry about Boris, worry about your neighbours, worry about your families, worry about your friends, okay, worry about your community, yeah, worry about them people and do it for them, stay in for them, because after 3 weeks this can only be three things, okay? It can either be, you can see me doing 4, it can either be we reduce it because everybody's done really well at self-isolating and the cases have gone down, there's been no more spread, so it could get reduced. It could be go back to normal, or it could be we could maybe relax a little bit, okay? It could be that, nope, we need to keep as it is for a little while because we have seen improvement. Although we have seen improvement, we've not seen enough, or, you know, whatever, I don't know, I don't do their job, so I don't know, but... You know, it could mean that we need to just keep it the same for a couple of weeks, but then again, still blessed with the freedom that we can take a stroll. When we need to go shopping, we can go to the shops. You know, I've seen statuses to say people have got their families in shops. Well, some people unfortunately don't have somebody at home to look after their family, so they're going to need to take their family shopping with them. You know, stop being so judgmental, you know, and leave people alone. Worry about yourself and go and focus on yourself. Put that energy into you instead of other people. And then, or it could go, the third way that it could go is it could be that because people are still going to the beach, because people are allowing their kids to still play in the park, because people are sitting down and having picnics as big gatherings, okay, it could be that they say, right, you're not helping, we're going to go into a lockdown. Let me tell you, if we do go into a lockdown, you're going to know about it. Because lockdown will mean seeing police and seeing the army patrolling the street like they're currently doing in Ireland, okay? You will have to have papers, whether it be, I don't know whether they're going to want ID. I don't know whether it's going to be a note, because that has been on the speeches as well. You're not taking in all of it. It's like you're taking in the worst parts of it, but you're not listening to the other little bits of it. So, and some people. So they said before, like, so if we did go into a complete lockdown, you would then, if you are on the street, you'd have to write a letter. So that letter, and the reason why you'd have to write a letter is obviously to stop communication, to stop spread, and the letter would have to state why you was out. So for example, for me, it would be, I'm walking my dog. I'd have to have a note, because it's not always quite clear that my dog's with me, because when we're in the field, she's off in the bushes and she's gone, okay? I'm going shopping, or I'm going to give medication to my nan. You know, whatever your reason may be, you've got to have a legitimate reason to be out. And if your reason is not legitimate, you will get escorted back to your home, or you will get fined. And that's what a lockdown will be. You won't be able to let your kids go and play out the back with their friends, okay? And a lot of people have been saying that. They've been seeing kids playing football. It's really hard, guys. Come on, we all know it's going to be hard to stay in, to keep some kids in. Some kids, yes, some kids will happily stay in and they'll happily play on the PlayStation. They'll happily draw. They'll happily cook and bake with their mum. They'll happily do the chores. All children are different, you know. And all humans are different, you know, so there's going to be some humans that are the same that can't stay in. So your kid going out to the back of your garden, if you're lucky enough to have one. I mean, if you've got a garden, your kids really don't need to be out, because they can be in the garden. But if you don't have one, you know, like some of, you know, where I live, they don't. Their kids are coming out, the back of their house, and they're playing together on the green. But it's still self-isolation, because if any of them do have the virus, they're not travelling it across London or across the country. It's just keeping it contained. So then once it's contained, it can be dealt with, okay? So again, it's choices. We're given these choices. Use your initiative, okay? It doesn't mean you all go out the back and you sit down together and have a picnic, because yes, it's things like that they're going to say no. And even if you're the same people sitting down having a picnic to the same children that would be out the back, it doesn't matter, because they don't want all the adults don't need to be out there as well, okay? You know, sitting down having a picnic. Yes, go for a stroll if you need to, like I've said, but you don't need to be sitting down like it's normal. They're the things that they want to stop. And even if you feel that it doesn't make sense, don't worry about it, because that's not your job to feel that it doesn't make sense, or to, you know, oh, well, that's not right. Don't just do what needs to be done, okay? Stop thinking about the whys, and stop, you know, being so disobedient. Not disobedient. I don't want to say disobedient, because he's not even, he's given us a choice. At the moment, he's not laying down the law. He's given us a choice. And if you just want to be so defiant and, you know, just not understand, then, you know, you're going to be the ones that are travelling to the beach, that are meeting in the parks and having a sit down and having, you know, little picnics. You're going to be the one that's going to get us into lockdown. And if we go into lockdown, guys, that's going to be horrible. I mean, it's going to be horrible. You're going to be scared to go out the shop to buy a pint of milk, because there's going to be no one on the streets. It's going to be ghostly. It's going to be eerie. Already the streets have calmed down quite a lot, but it will literally be no one. You will see police and army walking down your streets, okay? So honestly, guys, think about what you're doing and just take some responsibility for yourselves. Think logically. We're in such a great position right now, like I said, with countries that have been locked down completely and got the army patrolling their streets, you know. And if we carry on this way, honestly, that's the way we're going to go. And bless Boris, got to give him enough ratings, because he has give us a choice. He's give us a chance, and it's the people out there, you know. He's done things that we've asked for. Yes, he may have done them a little bit late, but he's only human, and this is new to him as well. I mean, I don't really trust the government at all, but it is neither here nor there at the moment, because I have no control. Whether I trust them or not, I have no control. So I need to take responsibility for myself and do what I know is right. And, you know, if we can do this now, then, you know, just think in the future, how different it's going to be. It can either be that, we're telling people in the future, we're telling our grandkids we was completely on a lockdown and we couldn't leave our houses. There was army and there was police patrolling the streets, getting people in, there will be tanks coming down the street, to enforce it. It won't be a joke, so just honestly think about what's going on, guys. Think about what you're doing. Please think about it, because it's not a joke. And the people that are out there and still working and helping, honestly, thank you so much. It's appreciated, down to delivery drivers, because obviously if it wasn't for the Royal Mail, my dog wouldn't be able to get her medication. Just even in general, just being able to live life indoors. Because I do obviously a lot of streaming, I broke my phone holder that enables it to just sit there nicely. So even that, I've just been able to order that. It's on its way, it's coming, it hasn't been affected. Because obviously they are trying to keep it as normal as possible for everybody and try and, make it easy for everybody. So just appreciate that, guys. And, remember, we're so blessed. We've got so many things to be thankful for. And look after one another. If you need things, put it out there. If you're struggling, go on Facebook. It's been really nice to see how people are pulling together. I've had 2 friends that I've known for, one of them that I've known literally over 20 years, another one that I've known about 5 years, and it's really nice. But both from completely different areas, and their kids have come together and they're now email pen pals. So it's just little things like that. There's so many things out there, guys. Get connected with each other. If you've got a business that you've been thinking about, or you've got a trip that you've wanted to plan, or you've just got something that you've wanted to do that you've been putting off, do it now. If you're a new business, get out there, start promoting, because now's going to be the time when a lot of people are going to be online, and the times are changing that people will be online. So some people would only be online in the morning, at lunch break, after work, whereas these people now that can't work, they're going to be online all day possibly, because they don't have much to do, they're bored at home, they can't do their work from home, so they're literally just at home. Some people won't have kids, some people that I do know, friends have gone out and got family members' devices to use the internet, so elderly, some of them that would have never used it before, but are now obviously out there online, because to get them connected with the world, so they're not alone. So this is really, really the time to focus on you and drive yourself and work out what makes you happy, what makes you be the best you, and just honestly focus and do the things that you couldn't. Use the time wisely and just take every positive out of it you can. Enjoy the time with your children if you're lucky enough to have some, and just ride that wave. That's all we can do, because it is what it is. So all we can do is just embrace it and get through it. And like I said, look at the positives, because there are so many positives. If you're watching this, that means you have the eyes to see, to look out there, to see your children grow. It means you have the ears to hear, listen to the birds, and and just be able to hear your friends, have a conversation with your friends, pick up that phone. If you can walk, be thankful you've got the legs to walk. If you have a home, whether it be a bed sit that you don't really like, and that normally you spend most of your time out of to get out of it, or a flat because you've got noisy neighbours, just again, appreciate the fact that at least you've got that roof over your head and you're not in a doorway at this sad time, because the reality is some people out there now are not going to be eating because they rely on the handouts of us, the food that we give them, the coffees that we buy them, the money that we give them. And even if some of them do buy alcohol with it, so be it, so what? They're out there, they're cold, they're probably losing their mind, some of them. Don't judge, because you never know anyone's situation, you never know why they are doing what they're doing. So just remember that some people potentially could lose their life over this, or take their life, lose their life, yes, because they're out in the cold and they're, there's, like I said, they're not getting that food and water that they normally would through people like us helping them. There's some people that could potentially commit suicide over this, because they're not, they're not going to be able to pay their bills. They're going to be stressing. Their anxiety is going to be through the roof, and that is the reality. And some people might say that's a bit over dramatic, but it's not. It's not over dramatic at all, because the reality is that you just won't know about it. You won't know if that person's committed suicide, because unless that gets plastered all over Facebook, or they're a celebrity, so it's out there in the media, we're never going to know. So just be mindful of that, and just be thankful that you are where you are. And even if your situation isn't as great as mine, or isn't as great as the person next door to you, isn't as great as some of the people around you, just remember that it is so great compared to so many others out there. So just stay safe and stay blessed, and do what you got to do. Stay home, and just try and enjoy it as much as you can. And honestly, yeah, that's all I've got to say, guys. Have a great day and just spread that love, spread that positivity, and let's keep going. We can do this, guys. We can do it.